Welcome, my beauties, to Aphrodite in Cancer and our exercise of I it versus I thou. Instructions are simple. Go ahead and sit back and relax. And go ahead and close your eyes and take a few nice deep breaths in. Beautiful. As you're breathing in and just relaxing, and take a moment to connect with our lesson today. We learned about the 5 separate relations of an I-it object: beauty, movement, objective type, the abstract expression of something else, and mathematical form. And imagine in your mind a moment, a bird. And we're going to explain and then remove the I-it objectification of the bird. And then we'll do it for the beloved. So imagine in your mind a dove. And let's take the 5 I-it objectifications. Number 1, beauty. We see the picture of the object in its aesthetic details, color, proportion. We observe the dove has cream-colored feathers, a beautiful, graceful neckline, and expressive eyes. Movement. We sense the changes between the bird and the world around them. The movement of blood in the veins, of air in and out, raising the breast. How the dove flies through the air or bobs her head when she walks. Objective type. We can categorize the dove compared to other birds by genus, species, and family, plotting it on a map of distant relations and lineage. 4. Expression of something else abstract. We can see the bird as an abstract idea, perhaps an example of the laws of physics, how doves are able to take flight and keep in the air. We have changed from seeing this dove in particular to an example of physics. Perhaps we see it as a kind of concrete symbolism. The dove represents Aphrodite because it is beautiful. 5. Mathematical form. We experience the dove as an expression of numbers, perhaps the proportion of the eyes to the face compared to the golden mean, or its terminal velocity during flight, or how many there are in terms of extinction trends, that sort of thing. We do this kind of objectification with people too. And while it seems like we are relating to the other, the more we do these, the more we distance ourselves from truly relating and experiencing the other. Let's use this to see if we can find that I-thou relationship. Conjure up in your mind what you know about your beloved. Pick one person about whom to contemplate these questions. Number 1, beauty. What does your beloved look like? Eyes, skin, hair color? Do they have tattoos or piercings? Does your beloved look particularly appealing in certain clothes or in certain light? Describe the physicalness of your beloved. Movement. How does your beloved move through or occupy space? What if they're more subtle movements? The pushing of air or food and drink. How do they move through their day? What do they do? And feel into this expression of the beloved. Number 3, type. What of the beloved's family? What of their ethnicity, their ancestors, their hometown? How are they compared to the group, family, or clan? What is the beloved's role or function in the group? Number 4, symbolize. What does the beloved typify? What do they represent? What natural or social or medical laws do they represent? What are they an example of? Or a stereotypical representation of? And what do they mean to you? Number 5, measurement. How tall is your beloved? What of their BMI? The rate of respiration? The frequency of activity? How many others fall into the demographics? How old are they? What about their shoe size? Their grades in school? What about the beloved's IQ percentile? What are other ways of measuring and classifying them? So as we start expressing these, you may have some feelings that come up for you. Some are easier to think about than others. Some feel more important during certain phases of their relationship. For example, upon meeting the in-laws for the first time. Those culture and clan and family questions can become important. Knowing these 5 qualities of your beloved would seem to be depth, but in a way it treats the love and the beloved as an object. It serves to dehumanize, abstractify, and stereotype. So what is left? What is the I-thou relationship? Feel, experience, or imagine. Think to the quality of your relating experience with the beloved. What is it like to be in their presence? What is the texture of the soul? The feeling of togetherness. And where do you feel that in your body? How is the beloved an expression of God, divinity, the sublime, or of Aphrodite herself? These questions are difficult to describe or quantify, and this is when we turn to art and literature and music. We may describe our love as tragic, like Romeo and Juliet, or it feels like the flight of the Valkyries when we compete. We may invoke the poetry of Rumi to describe our underlying and undying devotion towards them. I-thou exists in the space between us, when we just lock eyes and see, with no pretense of guessing the other. It is simple but hard to describe. Much easier to describe what it is not. We move from a sense of, I want that person, to a simple, we are, of togetherness. It is past anxiety or expecting the others to meet our needs. It is a simple act of being wholly together in a moment, experiencing the other truly. So forget worshiping at the altar, or whipping yourself, or leaving great sacrifice. There is no need to prostrate to the beloved. The way to be truly seen, heard, and celebrated is to start with yourself. The relationship and quality of being at one with yourself, and extending that to the other, and working to dismantle the objectifications. I invite you, as you move forward, to begin to see where your mind automatically objectifies people, and to instead interrupt that thought pattern and move to a sense of presence with them, a quality of togetherness. And you can kind of feel it in you. There's a calmness and a centeredness, a groundedness, because there's nothing to perform. There is no anxiety. And there's a trust in the love that can be nurtured. Beautiful. Thank you, beloved.